And I've asked one of our students, Chloe, with the robotics team, to help us. If you want to step forward a little bit, Chloe. We're going to ask her to help lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we have a special group of guests tonight. This is so great. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Kaiser and let him introduce you.
Thank you very much for coming this evening. We've kind of started a new tradition and kind of talked about the why we're here. And tonight, obviously, we're here to celebrate some outstanding staff members and our student success. But, you know, one of our focuses tonight is talking about our strategic planning. And one of our goals is to reach a 90% achievement at or above the grade level. So some of the topics we're going to have later on this evening will address that. And again, every board meeting and every meeting we have in the district has to have a purpose that should focus back on our academic and our social emotional goals. So I just want to remind everybody of that process that we go through. Tonight's a very special night. I want to start with a few thank yous. First of all, to Melody Stevens and Bruce By. Bruce works very closely with Indiana Farm Bureau and was coming up with some brainstorming, some ideas on how can we partner better together. And Dave Koloski, if I pronounce that correct, Dave's not here tonight. He and Bruce got together with Melody and I and came up with this plan about spirit. Her commitment and dedication to the entire learning community of Beech Grove High School is second to none. Tracy is always willing to help anyone in need. She is someone who is reliable at all times. Thank you very much. The one from the Beech Grove operations is Dulcie Holcomb. Dulcie, come on up. We got her. She didn't know she was getting this tonight. We told her she had to come talk about food lunch prices. So, Dulcie has been such a wonderful addition to our staff. She has stepped up as the new director during a time of transition and has worked tirelessly to make sure our cafeterias are efficient as possible. She comes in early, stays late, makes the tough personal decision, is highly effective when coaching employees for improvement. Besides the administrative expertise, Dulcie's culinary capabilities are outstanding, with soups, queso, desserts being the favorite. She has perfected her catering service. Staff would rather utilize her offerings than order from the outside restaurants. All this has been accomplished during a year where her assistant director was out. Dulcie has managed to keep everything together and is truly a dedicated employee. Congratulations. Some time right now, if we can have our 5 recipients come up, and let's take a picture. One group picture. So everyone,
the rate we had hoped, because a lot of energy and effort goes into helping those kiddos close gaps and get right where they need to be by the end of the school year. So I just wanted to let everyone know of that process and how it's really natural for us to have strengths and areas of weakness and how we need to target those as a team. So first of all, you know, everyone receives rock solid, excellent teaching and learning, equal access for all students. But kiddos who are struggling, and this is the time of year where we start to feel that the most. Happening. And so what we do is we move into Tier 2, kids that need a little extra help. So I wanted to thank our Kids Club teachers. We have Beth and Amy Jennings who do Kids Club Title I intervention for first grade, and we have Lindsay Osborne that does it for kindergarten students. And then our classroom teachers give extra effort for students who need a little extra oomph with that Tier 2. Then for students who are still progressing and maybe need even additional support, we pull together a team of people, student meetings. We invite the parents, and we've had wonderful parent participation this year. What we do is we identify areas to celebrate for that student, then we set targeted goals and develop interventions to support that goal. And we meet every 6 weeks to monitor their progress. And we are at that season where we're really starting to see kids reach their goals and close the gap. and really explore other services for kiddos if they are not. So I just wanted to celebrate that process. It doesn't happen by accident, and it really is beneficial for our boys and girls. To date, we have had 64 students go through the Tier 3 intervention process, and that is a total of 107 parent meetings so far this year. We do that almost every morning, meet with parents. So I just want to thank the interventionists. I want to thank parents and our students for working so hard every day to try to get on target. So that being said, I also wanted to celebrate our Student of the Month. So I'd like to invite Isabel Roach up. Come on up. Oh, we have very sweet things to say about her. From Miss King, she says, if anyone is deserving of school-wide Student of the Month, it's Isabel. I can always count on her to do the right thing. She is a gentle leader with strong confidence, and her kind spirit influences all others around her to be the best they can be. The only thing that disappoints me is that I can't have her as a student forever. I'm sure proud of that sweet girl. From Mrs. McDivitt, she says that you are very extremely respectful and responsible. You're an excellent peer model and an engaged learner. From Mrs. Taylor, she says, oh, Isabel is such a sweet girl, always doing what is right and leads the class as a role model, demonstrating responsibility and respect at all times. Her smile and laugh can light up any room she is in, and you have lit this room right up. Couldn't think of a more deserving student. Congratulations, Isabel, our Student of the Month.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mrs. Probus. Mr.
Thank you.
Butler, Central Elementary.
Good evening, everyone. Just a couple of quick things from Central tonight. First of all, this is College Go Week at Central. You wouldn't think that at the second and third grade building we would be getting the boys and girls ready to think about college. Mrs. Wolf has done a lot of work this week to give the boys and girls some information, some fun facts. There's some little has finished. So we do I read, then we have spring break, then we come back and we learn some more, and then we'll do the I Learn testing in April. I'm super excited to now present Olivia Duncan, who's not excited about the testing. Come on up, Olivia. Probably one of the students I'm most proud to present as Student of the Month is Olivia Duncan. She has worked really, really hard. Olivia is a third grader. Olivia is a third grader in Ms. Lauerman's classroom, and Ms. Lauerman and several of her teachers are here this evening. She states that Olivia has been one of the most improved students on her entire team this year. She has improved in all areas, academics, social, and behavior. She has stepped up as a leader in the classroom and oftentimes helps her classmates stay accountable. We are so proud of her. Mrs. Miller, her math teacher, has been so proud of Olivia this year and all the progress she has made. She is a very bright girl with a very big personality. Olivia is able to absorb a lot of the curriculum with ease and is willing to try to participate during her class. Ms. Pugh tells us that Liv is such a bubbly student with a good head on her shoulders. She helps students when she can and does not hesitate to answer a question. Her love for reading is impressive at such a young age. Every morning she comes off the bus to greet her and gives her a hug. She definitely knows how to start someone's day on the right foot. In applied technology, Mrs. Pfeiffer shares that Olivia has come in bold and capital letters, leaps and bounds, academically, socially, emotionally, and behaviorally. This year, she thrives on work completion and perseverance. Olivia is willing to assist her and her classmates whenever the need arises. Her face lights up when she completes a task and when she's able to help others. Her sense of humor and smile are contagious, and she is truly a pleasure to have in class. Ms. Blake and Mrs. Yeoman, who are here as well, are so excited that Olivia is Student of the Month. She has come such a long way. She is very sweet, caring, and nurturing when it comes to other students. She has a spunky personality and does a great impersonation of a cat. Finally, in music, Mrs. Etter has been amazed to see Olivia's growth and transformation this year. It's clear that she is a resilient young lady. She has persevered through her struggles and is able to show respect and responsibility on her own. She is funny and outgoing with a creative and vibrant personality. Her participation in music has really turned around, and she is achieving her goals. She was recently selected for the music club to get her talent and her interest in music going. Everyone is so proud of Olivia's hard work.
Friday is a big day at South Grove as well. All of the students that met their accelerated reader goal will get to enjoy an ice cream sundae during lunch that they get to make themselves. And I was noticing the numbers rolling in, and we're going to be dishing up a lot of ice cream, but that's a great thing because it means that they're meeting their reading goals, and we're very happy to celebrate with them for that. At 2 o'clock, the South Grove teachers and staff are going to be taking on the South Grove 6th grade boys and girls basketball teams in the annual staff versus student basketball game. I'm actually going to put on tennis shoes and play this year. So it's always a fun time. The children love it. The teachers love it. It's a great way to end a Friday afternoon before we take off for spring break. And then also report cards go home on Friday. That'll be a good thing for everybody, right? So parents, I would say look for report cards Friday afternoon coming home. If you don't get a report card coming home, get on Skyward. You can see all of their grades. It'll all be updated. And then I would like to ask Sophia Malone to come up. Where is she? I saw her family over here, but come on up, Miss Sophia. So this is Sophia. She's a 6th grader at South Grove. She is
both 7th and 8th grade choirs earned a gold rating, as well as both 7th and 8th grade bands earned a gold rating. So lots of great things happening at the middle school. So now let's move on to the best part, our student of the month. Always has a positive attitude. She accomplishes all of this while being a student athlete and taking part in our school leadership program. According to Mr. Steve Morgan, Samantha is a great kid who is academically driven. Mrs. Keller is thrilled to have Samantha in both science and HRT class, where Samantha is always polite and a great example to her fellow students. Mrs. Lewis adds that in math class, Samantha is a big helper by making sure that students who are absent get any work they've missed. Mrs. Lewis continues that Samantha is a bright student who she trusts to help lead her peers by example both in and out of the classroom. Mrs. Richard explains, and I hope my own children grow up to be like. That was really nice. Samantha is a wonderful member of the Beech Grove Middle School family and a great example of a Hornet. So let's give a round of applause for Samantha.
Thank you, Mrs. Story. Just a reminder, after Mrs. Walters in high school, please stick around for pictures, parents, and get the students of the month. Family members, stay around if you'd like to get you pictures. Thank you.
Good evening. Happy week before spring break. Spring parent-teacher conferences were earlier a great success. We appreciate all of our parents who joined us to discuss student work that evening. We are in testing season. Can I get another? Aww. We tested iStep this week and last. We tested the ACT today. We have the SAT coming up, followed by the rest of iStep, and then AP tests. So it is a big testing in the spring window. Our Skills Service Day for the spring is coming up on Wednesday, April 17th. Very excited, as you might remember this year we opened that up for students to consider college career readiness skills as well as community service skills. So a lot of their opportunities will be coming out that day. As I said, spring break is coming up in 2 weeks. Our first day back will be April 1st, and certainly no April Fools there. A few things to celebrate. Champions Together led the Champions Together event. We very successful. We actually paired with the school that was competing with our basketball team. This
And as you guys know, with the Pride of North Central, we'll be performing at Bgsn State Finals next weekend at noon at Franklin Central. So we certainly wish them luck. Just to end with a little bit of celebration,
Join me as our Student of the Month. I mention a related note because I will share some of the things that we usually do. Emily is the daughter of Meredith Whitaker and Andrew Johnson, who are here with her tonight. Her school activities include basketball, track, cross-country, softball manager. Those are all throughout her 4-year career with us. She's yet undecided after school, but she was nominated this evening by Mr. White, who is here, and Ms. Fangman, who is here, because something pretty special has occurred in the past semester that we want to honor Emily, because she paid it forward by honoring Matt English through a tribute that many of you may have seen and will be happy to distribute again on the Hornet Blast. But we submitted that to a national award competition through Varsity Brands, and Emily has been awarded one of 12 finalists in the nation for her submission for her tribute to the journey and story of Matt English. So she will travel to Florida, and we will see on May 11th how she fares for the national award among those 12 finalists. So please join me in congratulating Emily Johnson as our student of the month.
All right, I will take all the students first that receive the Student of the Month, and then we'll just go by school. So we want to Mark will have the principals and the families and yeah, I did.
They play the song Believer on the piano. Like, don't take it out on the page. So.
The piano is here.
Hi, how are you? Can you just say hi? I see you in the car rider line. It's like I don't recognize you.
Passed away this week, but I wondered if anybody knew who it was or what he passed of. See, now I thought he was a younger brother. I was thinking it was more than 4 years. Daniel? He knows everybody, that's why I haven't seen him. It's been a rough one.
Everybody stood up and said,
my boyfriend's coworker passed this week. It's like in the last 10 days.
And I'm going to put Mark
to that scale.
I don't know. That's really the lowest point ever of our educational experience.
Do you know Aaron Montross, the basketball player?
Yeah.
He grew up here in Indianapolis. At that age, he was a kid taller than all the other kids. My brother bit him. And his dad's a lawyer, and he was not happy.
It's an English. I went to high school.
No, the high school.
Kevin Benson.
Oh, no, you're fine. I just want to make sure. High school. Do they do metal robots? Do you know who the coach is, Owen? Robotics in high school?
Mr. Banks used to do it, but I'm not sure he's doing it now.
Yeah, they're the ones
Well, here, wait a second.
And then I'm going to go sit by my little shy one on the end that is embarrassing.
Newtown had a good weekend.
They
Boys
did.
basketball.
They did. That kid from Ben Davis was, like, we couldn't compete with him.
Ohio State recruit.
Yeah. Take him out of the equation, we could have beat him.
The B-Navon was a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was a big deal.
everybody's having fun.
It was fun to watch
Was there a
him.
good crowd there?
We had a great crowd. They had okay crowd. I think they were pleasantly surprised.
You know what's really crazy is I was talking to the superintendent via email today. They're playing Center Grove. They have to drive to Washington, Indiana.
Let me take over, okay? Thank you. I wanted to introduce Marlena Rainey. She's one of my 5th grade teachers, but she took over for us this year. We had a lot of success with Mr. Yeoman last year, and when he left, she gladly took over. It was an interesting job, I'm sure, and I do nothing but support, so
I'm not allowed to help them. And I take that part of my position very seriously, and I don't help them. They have to figure it out on their own, just like we have to every day. They built these robots, and they're actually going to be doing most of the presenting today. I just wanted to introduce them. So, kiddos, if you'll stand up and tell them in order your name and what grade you are, and they'll get started on their...
About our robots. Miss Rainey wasn't allowed to help with the building, so we worked together and helped each other. Now that that is over, I am glad she didn't help. We like that we did it on our own. After we built them, we were able to make changes to the robot. We wanted to make changes so it would work better at the competition. Because it was the first year for many of us, we didn't make any changes until after our first competition. Once we saw that other teams were doing, we could come back and change our robots to be able to do more. For example, the Flex robot, we could not hang high, and it could not knock over the yellow hubs easily.
Good job. Part of their robot instructions, good job, you can go back up there, is to, it's kind of like if you've ever seen the Legos and how to build the Legos, there's no words, it's all images, and they have to put these robots.
It's about teamwork challenge. At a competition, we play with another team to score as many points we can in 1 minute. We are given time before the 1 minute match to come up with a strategy. We talk to the other team to figure out each other's strengths and weaknesses. Once we have a plan, then we work together to score as many points as possible. There are several.
Usually at this point in the competition, we're cheering our heads off. We're being really quiet tonight. We're nervous. Upon the score, So them knowing their rules is very important. And actually this year, several different times, because they knew their rules so well, they actually earned more points than the judge had thought they had earned. So they're not only learning robotics and how to build and engineering, but they're learning communications and they're learning community. So great organization, and we really, really appreciate your guys' support, school board. So thank you so much.
I just think they're as cute as a button, and they did great.
And then what they have you been to the robotics competition down at Booth as well? And then behind it, it's like
So Kathleen had to drive me tonight. She was in the back of the driveway. We're getting all this stuff together.
Lucas Oil, but that's to a big high school.
Motion to talk about it. Thank you, Beth. Okay. Any discussion?
I think I'll switch to TCU as well.
A little bit better.
I thought it was real clever to research that and look over multiple years, see what kind of benefit.
How much talk about the process?
Sure, I did. Sure. About a month ago, I did an RFP, sent it out to 5 banks that do have a local branch. Last week, we received them a week ago Friday, and last week we spent a couple of days comparing fees, comparing other things, and we were pretty strategic in our RFP to ask about community involvement and other opportunities to support the school, community, and children in any way possible. And TCU really did have a very attractive offer with multiple options of a set rate, a variable rate, multiple years, which enhanced the dollar figure in terms of either naming rights or other contributions to the art show and other things that I listed in my update. So the fees were very competitive across the board, to be quite honest with you. And then the set structure to make interest off of our cash balance, total balance, was very comparable as well. So I'm leaning toward, we haven't made a decision yet. We still need to, as a cabinet, sit down and determine, do we want to have 4 years, 6 years, or a 10-year deal? And the 10-year deal is a variable rate, which with business as it is right now, I think I could ask some finance people advice that we are in a low time of interest rates. I don't feel like it's an incredible risk. I'll get that in writing from somebody before we make that determination. But I think that getting a fixed rate may not be in our best interest, because I think the feds, from what I've read and explored and looked at, I think the feds can say that it'll go up. So, but again, I'm not going to guarantee returns on a long-term investment. So we'll explore that. But I'm really leaning toward the 10-year, $150,000. It ends up being about a $1.4 million deal in the good for us. So I'm very pleased with that, and we'll talk strategically over the next few months on how to look at those dollars.
What was our agreement with Fifth Third? How the duration?
For when?
How long?
We don't have. Yeah, we've just been banking with them, so we don't really have. They were setting the fees. It was time for us to wipe the slate clean and just see what was out there, because we really hadn't done that. But we also didn't know. We saw some from local districts, some other local districts like Franklin Township, who did see some of these community dollars coming in. Nobody else had naming rights or other community dollars directly contributed.
Fifth Third had was it Fifth Third?
Correct.
That had a Hornet card and they donated a percentage of.
Yeah, so we still have, so Indiana Members has been doing the Hornet card donation back, and that's about $6,000, I think, on the year.
Yeah,
so any member at Indiana Members Credit Union who banks there, it's still available, and that's not going to change that at all.
My question is, do you think Teachers Credit Union will offer the same, or?
Yeah, so I had extensive discussion on a procurement card. So we do use Fifth Third to do our banking, finance, and bill pay. We find that to be a very efficient way to pay our bills. And TCU's is not as robust and as smooth, and they're rolling that out next month. So they've noticed that